Hey folks, Rick here, LaLa Farm. Thought we'd do an update video on one that we did probably at this point been probably 4 or 5 months or so ago. I think we did it back in October or November. We installed, I think it was 130 new chicks in our new chicken coop back in October, so it's probably late November, early December or so. And part of that new chicken coop was the installation of the Best Nest box. It's a rollaway box that we had purchased and installed on the back wall of our chicken coop. So that's what these are right here. So we've got 6 rollaway nesting boxes that we installed, and we were really hopeful that they would be kind of the solution that would keep us from having to go into the coop and retrieve our eggs each day, which is what we've done up on the other coop, the original coop, for the better part of now 3-4 years since we started keeping, right at 3 years since we started keeping chickens. It hasn't worked out the way that we had hoped it would. Our chickens are free range, as you can tell. They basically have run of the barn, and they have run around the goat pen, and so they go forage anywhere out in the pastures that they want. So when we put the nest boxes in, we expected them to just naturally want to lay in the nest boxes, or in the rollaway nest boxes. What we've learned is because our chickens are free range, they can lay wherever they want. Which means they can lay in the hay feeders, they can lay in the hay or straw that we have put up. They can lay, just a new chick, as you know, can lay really everywhere. Laying is new to them, so they don't. You never really know where you're going to find eggs, so it's kind of like an Easter egg hunt every day when you come out to collect your eggs. So I wanted to do an update video on what our thoughts were in our application for a free-range flock with this Best Nest box. So we did a little experiment with these nest boxes. What we realized is when they started laying is that they were being laid everywhere. So a trick that I learned when we first started keeping chickens to try to keep them laying in one spot is to use fake eggs. So we use golf balls, or we got a few fake eggs I found at a yard sale that I purchased for I think $1 each or something. So we have these fake eggs, and we use some golf balls, like I said, and we would put them in the nest, and then that would basically teach young chickens where to lay. So we did this little experiment where out of these 6 boxes, the one on all the way to the right on the top, that's got a fake egg in it. The one on the bottom here, all the way to the right, basically has the original nesting pad from Best Nest box, and these other 4 have just straw in them. Now, when I first set this up, it was fake eggs all the way to the right, straw in the middle, and just the original pads in the left. But the proof was kind of in the pudding with respect to what they preferred in terms of a nesting media. So here's a typical day. So we've got 3 eggs in this box. Now this box has a fake egg on the laying pad. This one has nothing, and that's typical. We aren't getting anything out of these boxes that don't have any material in them, just the original nesting pad that came from the manufacturer. Now these ones, what we have done is we stuffed these with a straw bedding to allow them to be able to lay their eggs in here. So that's the 4 with material in it, or bedding material in it, straw. Let me show you what the results are. So this is not a one-day thing. We've tested this now over multiple weeks. So again, this was from the other side. This was the coop that was all the way to the right. There's our fake egg, and if you recall, there's 3 eggs in there, and that's typical. We range between 1 and 3 eggs a day. This is the one on the bottom. There's nothing in this one ever. So we never get eggs in this. Now, let's go to the ones that I've put straw in. So this is what we get on a typical day. So there is absolutely zero doubt that these chickens prefer the straw as a nesting material over these synthetic pads, plastic pads that come with the best nest box. Even that pad with a fake egg attached to it. Now that box with the fake egg gets more than this one does with nothing but the pad, but in any case, they much prefer the straw. So I asked myself, well, why? And you know, I've come to the conclusion that it's because these chickens are free range. Now they happen to be in the hen house, but they have this solar controlled door that they come in and out of the hen house at will. So the rest of the time they can lay their eggs wherever, under a tree, in the straw boxes or the straw feeders for the goats, or we found them, interestingly, I'll show you this. So this was kind of what led me to saying I gotta figure this problem out. We gotta get us a ladder. So this is our dry feed trailer, and so they've climbed up onto the top of this, and they've actually laid eggs in the vent for the trailer. We gotta get up on top of the trailer and get them down. Since we have put the straw material now in the rollaway boxes, they're now laying in those boxes. We're not finding them in the hay feeders. We're not finding them under the water or in the chicken coop. And it's made egg collection significantly less of a pain in the butt. So here's my review on the best nest box. I think if you had a closed flock where that flock stays in the coop and they are not allowed to free range and have free will over where they are going to nest on any given day, then these best nest boxes probably work pretty well, because that would be the preferred location for them to lay their eggs, for them to nest. But because we free range, they have the option to nest, lay eggs wherever they want. So that just coincidentally is generally not in our nest boxes that we've designed for them. So if you're in a free range flock, I don't know that it would necessarily be the best investment for you. If you are in a if you're in a confined space where they have no option but to nest in those boxes, they're probably going to nest there. In our application, because these chickens free range with our goats, kind of see them sporadic out here, because they free range with our goats, we do not believe that they could lay eggs wherever they want. I don't believe that it was the best investment we could have made. I think we could have done much better just getting plain old boxes, whether that be a milk crate or something like that, and then put the nesting material in there. That probably would have worked just fine. So I think it was not a good investment. Good idea. The execution was there, but the kind of failed in terms of doing what we wanted to, which was being able to retrieve our eggs from the interior of the barn versus having to go into the hen house to get them. So that's my thoughts on the best nest box. Again, hasn't worked out well for us, but we've just basically going to convert all 6 of those boxes now to straw material, and since we've started doing that, the randomness with which eggs are laid in various places has decreased significantly. So there you have it.